When you're not smelling the candle anymore. You know that moment when you get like a brand new candle, like a really nice candle, like your favorite scent or whatever, right? And you know it's your favorite scent, or the idea of it's really cool, or you smelt it at the store and it was really, really something. And you're like, I want to take this back to my house because I really like the smell of this, you know? And you're like, I want that around all the time. I want the house to smell like that all the time. I want it to smell really sweet or really fragrant. And I want it just to fill up the space. You know what I mean? That way, when people come inside, they can smell how nice and clean it is and how fresh it is, or whatever kind of smell that you wanted to like encapsulate the space. But at some point or another, this happens. This is just the way that I think things happen, is that it gets to a point where you kind of stop smelling it. You know, it gets to that point where it's just like air again, where your nose doesn't recognize it because it's so used to the smell of it. Do you know what I mean? It's that moment when you're like, oh, your nose starts to recognize it, and it's like it's not special anymore. It's just the air. It's just, you don't smell that. I don't know, you don't smell that good smell anymore like it used to be. It's not, how can I put it? It's not like scented air anymore. It's just the air, the way that it is now, you know? It's just that, oh, it doesn't smell like this scent. You know, like let's say you get like, I remember one time I got this, oh my gosh, what's it called? Mocha? I don't, man, it's hard for me to remember the exact fragrant smell of it, like the actual like scent of it that it was trying to give, but it smelled like coffee, and it smelled like a really nice coffee, like a really, I don't know, creamy, but like earthy. It was a coffee smelling candle. I remember I bought it. And I thought it smelled really good. I actually was like, man, I would like to drink this. You know what I mean? It's, of course, I don't really like drink coffee like that, but I was just like, yeah, maybe just to try it. You know what I mean? Just to have it. But anyways, I got the candle, and eventually somewhere or another, like I burned it. I was burning the candle, and for a while you could really smell it. And then I stopped smelling it. And then I stopped really feeling like connected to the candle. And I just kind of like, you know, obviously I just like let it burn because it was a candle and I bought it, and I was like, I let it fill up the space. But after the burning of it, I started telling myself that I was like, did I really appreciate the candle? Like, did I really like get the full use of it? And I said, yeah, I mean, I burned it, I smelled it, I filled up the space. Other people said that, well, it wasn't like everybody's favorite candle or like the favorite scent of it, but I liked it. And so yes, I felt like I appreciated the candle, but then I thought to myself, like, but did I really smell it all the way through? And I was like, no, because it just was just like regular air. It wasn't like I could smell it 24/7 like it was like usual, you know what I mean? And so then I started to ask myself, is that really how it's supposed to be? Is it supposed to like, am I supposed to like feel it for like 5 minutes when I light it, and then like I'm like appreciating the smell of it, but then as soon as like my nose starts to get wise or starts to get like, all right, this is a good smell, now I just treat it like regular. It stops being like this fresh breath or scent in my nose, and it starts just becoming regular air. It just starts to become anything else. And when anything other than that smell comes through, that's the smell I smell. Do you know what I mean? Like imagine, if you will, if you were like in a field of flowers, okay? And then somebody took like a huge dump right next to you, all right? Just like by happenstance, you know what I mean? They were like, I'm in this field, just so happens that this guy's right next to me and I have to poop. And so they take the dump, and then you're like, you're still in this field of flowers, but because they took the dump right next to you, all you could smell was that dump. You know what I mean? That was the aroma that was fully taking over your senses, because the field of flowers, no matter how good it was, it just wasn't as powerful as that dump, right? It was like, you know how like certain sounds have different frequencies, and because those sounds have certain different frequencies, you can hear one sound while hearing another, and it's distracting a bit. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like you're playing a huge song, like your favorite song, right? But then you hear like a police siren, you know, woo, 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 right? And that's not part of the song. But when you hear it, it's just like, you're ruining the music, bro. You know what I'm saying? Something along those lines where it's just like something else stronger, something else different comes along. And maybe ruin it is the wrong word, but it's just kind of like that's all that you can really take in. And so then you start to think to yourself like, okay, well, my favorite song's still playing, but I don't get to like fully appreciate it or enjoy it because there's this other sound in the background. And so then you're kind of like, now they're ruining, well, not ruining, they're just like, would you turn off your other sound so I can appreciate this? You know what I mean? It's just like that. And that's how it is with the candle. You take in the dump, somebody's taking the dump right next to you, and it doesn't matter that the field of flowers is around you. Your nose cannot be selective. It can't just say, smell the smell of flowers. You either have to get away from it or nothing else, right? And then all of a sudden, it's not a field of flowers mixed with poop, right? Like, they don't collide and make like this better poop smelling, flower scented smell, right? It's just, you just smell the poop. And now you're kind of like, well, I really don't want to smell that. You know what I mean? I really don't want to take that in. I don't really want to smell it or really even have it in my general, I don't want it in my lungs like ever. You know what I mean? But the point is, you know, you take in the smell, and now that's like the overpowering smell, right? And oftentimes, when we have so many good things going for us, we start to forget that the scent is on, that the candle is on, that it's really happening for us, you know? And then we start to realize that like that scent that we have isn't as special, or it isn't really all that crazy. It's just like, it's kind of maybe background until another smell comes along. And then you're like, man, why can't I go back to that original smell? Well, because that original smell was a candle and it burnt out. And then all of the rest of the smells in the world came in and it messed you up. Now you're not used to regular air. You know what I'm saying? Now you can tell the difference in the air quality. It's not as good as it used to be, you know? And then you start to realize that like, man, that candle was really, really important. You know what I mean? And then once you get another candle, then you turn it on or you light it up and then you smell it and then it fills up the space again. But then you get so used to it, it just becomes like anything else. And then it starts to become like, I don't know, just normal. It doesn't become this great smelling thing anymore. It just becomes nothing. It just becomes like air. It just becomes a scent. You stop like feeling it. You stop recognizing it. You stop taking it in. And when you do that, you start to feel like, well, you know, damn, like there's nothing that's really like going to be like completely satisfying you or going to make you feel like, man, I'm really enjoying this smell or taking in this scent or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you understand where what I'm saying and where I'm going with this. But when you're not smelling the candle anymore, there's that point where it's like either you accept that the smell is around you and you should be grateful of that smell being around you, or the smell is irrelevant. The smell isn't what lifts you up, it's you who lifts you up, you know? And then you have to make that distinction of like, I like the smell of this candle, and I appreciate it, and I know that it's going to be okay even if it just goes normal. Like the second it lights up, it's going to be great. And then I'll recognize it for a few minutes, and then when it dies down, or when my nose recognizes that it's a good smell and it just doesn't have to worry about it anymore, you know? Then you can kind of like let it go. You can kind of just be like, the candle is on, and I know that good things are around me. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of just be like, the candle is on, I lit it, and I know that if I'm breathing, it means that I'm getting that scent in. No matter if I can actually smell it or not, no matter if I can actually recognize that it's entering my nose to my lungs, I know that because I lit it, because I have that scent, you know, I bought that candle, I have the scent with me, and I lit it up, I know that I'm taking it in. And I may not realize it, I may not recognize it, I may not smell it 24/7, but I have it, you know? And that's the cool thing about what we do, about who we are, is that there's a certain confidence that comes to us when we realize, hey, I know that even though I'm not, even though I'm not like fully appreciating everything, I know that good things are happening, and I can sleep at night. I can take it easy at night. I can appreciate who I am and the people around me more simply because I know that the candle is on. But you can't smell it anymore. And if you smelt it, then if you smelt it all the time, then you would have so many different conflicting scents and smells entering into your nose all the time. It's kind of like hard for you to like really appreciate all of them. But if you have one, if you appreciate one smell every single day, you light up a new candle every now and then, you start to realize all of the things that like, all of the scents, all of the things that are going well for you, and none of the bad stuff, you know? Because, believe it or not, if you were like that guy taking a dump right next to you, if you were right next to that dump, like for a while, eventually your nose will respond and be like, I can't smell the poop anymore. And you're like, what? It's like, I can't smell it anymore. Like, I know it's right here, and I know it's a bad smell, but like, my nose has actually like overcome it a little bit, or like has accepted that that's the space around me, you know? And I've become accustomed to it. And now I can actually make a decision for myself to like leave it, you know, and take in a new smell, take in better things around me. Do you get what I'm saying? Is that eventually you'll treat the bad stuff as normal too. And then eventually, when a good smell comes along, you appreciate it even more, you know? But it often feels like we can smell the bad stuff a lot deeper, a lot worse, we have greater emotions towards the bad smells than we do towards the good ones. We may have different variety, we may have like different sense of good, you know? But the bad smells, the really disgusting smells, those are the ones that wake you up. Those are the ones that get you to move away. And that's the point, is that you're not supposed to be around bad smells. You know what I mean? You don't want to be a bad smell. You want to be a good smell, right? The difference is who gathers around you, who takes in that smell, who appreciates it, and who knows that, hey, and who's confident in having that smell all around them all the time. Who says that, like, you know what? That smell, I want it around me. I want to be around that smell, you know? I want to be in that space. I want to be in that place. I want to be around this person or that candle, you know? And then, you know, you get used to it. You start feeling like that's the way things kind of go. That's the way things kind of are. And so, one way or another, you just start to realize that, like, I can't smell the candle, after a while. Maybe I appreciate it for a few minutes here and there, but you start to lose it, You're like, I don't remember. I'm losing the candle here. But you have to have confidence in what you have around you. You have to have confidence in your choice of smells and scents. You have to say that, like, this is a good thing to have around me. And with it around, I can actually, like, breathe better, So, anyways, when you're not what did I say? When you're not smelling the candle anymore, just have confidence in what you lit up, Have confidence in what you ignited or started the fire with, It doesn't have to always be the same scent, but you just have to know that, like, hey, it's burning. And even though I can't, like, technically smell it anymore, maybe you realize it, maybe you don't, but then you just kind of have to say to yourself that, like, I can't smell it anymore, but I know that it's on, and I'm happy that it is, So yeah, just be happy that it's lit, that it's working its magic, and while you might not be able to smell it anymore, you'll definitely believe that it's still on, and it's still working its magic. And that way, when you go through all of the, I guess through all of the bad smells, you'll know that, hey, I still have this candle, So anyways, a little short episode today, I'll admit. I don't know. I think that the shorter episodes are kind of like, they work a little bit better. I don't want to just, like, drag this on anymore. You know what I mean? I don't want to, like, force to fill up more time, but you know what I mean? This is, it was just something I was thinking about, because I was looking at a candle in my room, and I was like, I turned it off, because I was kind of like, I want to be able to appreciate the smell of it, but then, don't I just, like, isn't just having it on appreciating it enough, knowing that I lit it up and that the smell is around me, even though I'm not, like, fully taking it in, I don't know. But anyways, when you're not smelling the candle anymore, just know that you lit it on fire. Just know that it's burning and that the smell is around you, and whether or not you fully smell it, or you can, like, take a deep breath of it every single second, or it's like, it's not cherry blossoms and rainbows 24/7. Just know that that smell is going to be there, But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys all next time. Thank you.